Thank you for joining us on Nationwide News on the network service of the NTA. I am Nolene Ebel Ame. Let's begin the broadcast by informing you that President Bola Tinubu has just arrived in Kano for a sympathy visit over the passing of the late renowned businessman and philanthropist Alhaji Aminu Dantata. The presidential flight landed at the Malam Aminu International Airport at approximately 3:30 this Friday afternoon. He was received on arrival by a delegation led by the Kano State Governor, Abba Yusuf. Senate President Gatsula Pabio is in company of the President for the trip. In Kano, the President is scheduled to condole with the family of the deceased, people and government of Kano State. Alhaji Aminu Dantata passed on in Abu Dhabi, UAE on June 28. President Tinubu, who was out of the country at the time of Dantata's passing, had directed some of his ministers, led by Defense Minister Mohammed Badaru, to attend the burial in Saudi Arabia as a mark of honor for the late Nigerian. In other news, guests on Good Morning Nigeria have applauded the Federal Executive Council, FEC, for convening an extraordinary session to honor the late former President Muhammadu Buhari. Reflecting on his enduring legacy of discipline, patriotism and incorruptible leadership, the guests believe Nigerians must strive to emulate his down-to-earth personality and leadership style. Lydia Sampson reports.
Unwavering in his moral convictions and untainted by the trappings of power, Buhari's integrity, resistance to political temptation, his role as a moral compass in public service resonated with guests on Good Morning Nigeria.
So what it shows us is that some truths have become universal about him. When they talked about his honesty, his forthrightness, his simplicity, his humility, everything was just in line with the man Buhari.
Very easygoing, and he was just a leader, and he expected, that everybody would live up to their, responsibilities and so on, and that was it.
His spirit about fighting corruption was very, very, everybody will tell you that it was factual. I say factual because anybody that told you, that will tell you that Buhari was pretending when he was fighting corruption, that person is not a Nigerian.
We should also, take away from everything that was said yesterday that he was morally upright. I hope and I pray that those who were putting their mouth on the microphone to say Buhari was morally upright should accept also that it is a virtue to be morally upright and to be morally upright themselves.
The guests noted the late president viewed leadership and service as a divine opportunity and prioritized leaving behind lasting legacies. They echoed his concern for Nigerians, thereby withholding bailout for governors who hitherto did not pay civil servant salaries until they paid. The guests are on the same page. That is, trusting people to do the right things was abused but never compromised his integrity. While celebrating Buhari's humility and exemplary service qualities, they urge future leaders to emulate him. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
In the meantime, the Minister of Education, Dr. Maruf Olatunji Alausa, extends appreciation to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for his decision to immortalize late President Muhammadu Buhari through renaming of University of Maiduguri, Borno State, as Muhammadu Buhari University of Maiduguri. In a release, Director Press of the Ministry, Borio Folashade, indicates that the sector has been chosen as the channel through which the late president's legacy will be permanently remembered. Dr. Alausa believes that President Tinubu's decision reflects not only deep empathy and respect, but also a firm belief in education as the bedrock of national development, and his commitment to human capital development is unwavering and consistent with the path of national renewal that President Buhari championed. This symbolic gesture underscores the administration's recognition of education as a cornerstone for sustainable development and national identity. The ministry reiterates its commitment to upholding the values of service, integrity, and excellence that both led President Muhammadu Buhari and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu exemplify. Now, for Nigerian teaching profession to catch up with the fast-growing digital world that will empower a generation of teachers equipped to deliver dynamic, inclusive, and reflective learning experience, education programs must promote digital equity, innovative teaching practice, provide continued support for hybrid teaching strategies, encourage reflective ethical technology, use and content knowledge seamlessly. This is coming from experts in Nigerian education at a workshop organized by School of Education, College of Education, Zuba, Abuja, with the theme Hybrid Learning for Teacher Educators in the Digital Era. The workshop provides an avenue through which competencies of educators shall be developed on leveraging emerging technologies to enhance teaching and support 21st century learners.
Today our students are lazy. They don't come to classrooms. So we have devised a way to teach them at home, even if they are sick in the hospital.
As 21st century learners, they live in a technology-driven life. You will have to use technology to make sense to them. One of the reasons why educators also must employ technology.
Teacher educators must lead this change by fostering technological proficiency, ethical responsibility, and pedagogical innovation.
Digital tools, when creatively deployed, can democratize learning and enrich traditional pedagogy-driven innovations. I thank you for your kind attention.
Provost of the college, Dr. Sulemundi, and Dean of the school, Dr. Badamasi Ayubatarda, who invested so much on digital innovation, believes knowledge is impacted on students from wherever they are located. Let's shift our attention to health now. Malaria has been a silent killer in Nigeria and Africa as a whole, affecting mostly children and the vulnerable population. The good news is that the story may soon change. The Nigerian Senate is canvassing a robust legislative move to establish a dedicated national agency that will eliminate malaria once and for all. Ignatius Nko reports.
It is another step in the long battle against a disease that has silently claimed millions of lives across Nigeria, malaria. Inside this conference room, the Senate Committee on Health, Secondary and Primary convened a public hearing on the National Agency for Malaria Eradication Establishment Bill, sponsored by Senator Ned Nwoko.
Science-based and community-oriented strategies towards the elimination of this deadly disease.
It is time to move from seasonal campaigns to institutionalized eradication.
Participants agree on a national policy on the elimination of malaria. They, however, differ on the establishment of a new agency, as there are already existing bodies saddled with elimination of the disease. The proposed National Agency for the Eradication of Malaria will be tasked with coordinating nationwide efforts through research, prevention, treatment, and advocacy.
The National Malaria Elimination Program under the Federal Ministry of Health and Social Welfare must also be strengthened to fulfill its mandate.
The current National Malaria Elimination Program should be granted the status of a department so that it can receive its funding directly.
The committee also commenced investigation on the alleged ripening of fruits with chemical, which followed a motion by Senator Anthony Ani. Experts highlighted the dangers of contaminated foods and their punishments.
To halt this unwholesome practice because it endangers health.
These practices are linked to severe public health such as cancer, kidney, and liver diseases.
Federal Oil and Gas Hospital Delta State Establishment Bill, sponsored by Senator Joel Thomas, also received public acceptance. Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
Meanwhile, encouraging open discussions and challenging stigma surrounding menstruation, students of secondary schools within the Federal Capital Territory say will help promote a supportive environment for the biological process and increase access to menstrual products. Elizabeth Omori reports that the students advocate distribution of free sanitary towels at all secondary schools across the nation.
Menstrual hygiene is crucial for the health, dignity, and overall well-being of women and girls. Medical experts emphasize that proper menstrual hygiene not only prevents health risks, but also promotes self-esteem. Margaret, 15, is already experiencing the changes that come with puberty. She believes that effective collaboration is key to ensuring the availability of sanitary towels for girls like her.
They can create awareness programs on the importance of pad, because these girls that don't have pad, most of the time, it's not as if the parents don't have money, but you can be from a particular family that they don't care. The government should try to share pads frequently, come to school, give us pads, so that, because some people don't have money to buy these pads.
Volunteers like these, whose mission is to raise awareness about menstrual hygiene and management, are calling on state governments to prioritize the health of women and girls, addressing the challenges that come with menstruation.
We seek to partner with Ministry of Education, Ministry of Health, so that these proposals and policies will be put out.
But we'll keep advocating to the government to see to it that menstrual hygiene consumable is a necessity.
The students are advocating safe sanitary facilities in schools and inclusion of boys in menstrual education so that they can understand and support girls during their menstrual cycles. Elizabeth Omori, NTA News.
This is Nationwide. We shall be joining our Lagos studio where Hingino John Adams is standing by to give us more on Nationwide. Hello, Hingino.
Lagos. The Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations has projected that approximately 30.6 million people across 26 states and the Federal Capital Territory may face acute food and nutrition insecurity at crisis level or worse during the June-August 2025 lean season. This is indeed worrisome. Correspondent takes a look at what concerned bodies are doing to cushion the effect.
In some of our communities, we don't have roads that are motorable. The cost of labor is now very high.
These are some of the challenges faced by Grace Bukola and many other farmers like her across Nigeria and Africa at large. Concerned about such sad experiences of farmers, which pose great threats to food security, the African Union launched the Kampala Declaration in 2025, a build-up of the Malabo 2014 and Maputo 2003 declarations, which focus on achieving a sustainable and resilient food system through mobilization of significant funding for the sector.
Let us account for what is going into the budget, and let's deal with all the bottlenecks or selected bottlenecks, the top bottlenecks that are hindering the agri sector.
These experts and stakeholders are drawing the attention of relevant institutions on the importance of achieving goals that can help boost the agricultural sector.
The ministry is helping smallholder farmers with fertilizer and other agri inputs in various states across the nation.
With recommendation of 10% of the national budget by the declarations, Nigeria is still lagging behind, but the federal government is not relenting on meeting the target.
We have up to 3%, which has improved from previous budget, which is maybe 1% or 0.5%.
With robust plans and effective implementation strategies on ground, farmers will go to their farms smiling, knowing that their little efforts will contribute greatly to the nation's food security and economy. Plan to improve post-service life through pension reforms, welfare enhancements and other benefits have been highlighted in Lagos. This was the crux of discussions between the Lagos State Police Commissioner Olorundare Jimoh and the Association of Retired Police Officers of Nigeria, NAPON. Adejoke Odeka reports.
The Nigeria Police Force has announced plans to better prioritize the welfare of its personnel, particularly retired officers, under the National Association of Retired Police Officers of Nigeria, NAPON scheme. With this in mind, the Lagos State Commissioner of Police, Olorundare Jimoh, assured retired officers that the leadership of the force is working tirelessly with the government to improve the pensions and other welfare packages.
IGP Friday Adeli doing a lot. He has made a lot of submission to government recently, seeking for retired police officer to get between 80 to 100% of their salary as they retired. That means on monthly basis, so that they can retire with between 100 and 80% of their salary. And that is currently before the government.
The Lagos State Commissioner of Police also assured NAPON of the command's commitment to executing projects of the association and the need for sustained collaboration for the good of society. In Lagos, Adejoke Odeka, NTA News.
And that's it from here.
Moving on, this is Enugu Network Studio. Welcome to Nationwide. The fight against corruption demands a multifaceted approach, as no single institution can wage and win the war. It is on this premise that the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, convened a regional conference of attorneys general from Southeast to strengthen capacity for corruption prevention. Susan Eze has the report.
Deliberating on the theme, Institutional Integrity and Regional Cooperation, the role of the Attorneys General in advancing a corruption-free Southeast. The conference represents a deliberate policy of the ICPC to recruit important segments of the society into the fight against corruption. Chairman ICPC Dr. Musa Adamu Aliu's son noted that the role of state attorneys general in this fight is crucial, hence this engagement.
Their offices are not merely conduit for legal advice, but are vanguard for justice, protectors of public interest, and key partners in fostering good governance.
The host Attorney General, Enugu State, the State Chief Judge, represented the keynote speaker, committee chairman of the Senate and the House of Representatives, all agreed on regional dialogues to forge a formidable front against the common enemy, corruption.
Fight against corruption will not just be left for ICPC, will not just be left for the federal government. It will trickle down to state and local government because corruption is localized.
True impact can only be achieved when federal vision aligns with state-level commitment and institutional collaboration.
Other speakers emphasized on the constitutional authority of states to establish legal and institutional frameworks to combat corruption. Remembering late President Muhammadu Buhari as a champion of war against corruption, the conference eulogized the late president, and a minute silence was observed in his honor. In Enugu, Susan Eze, NTA News.
About 500 indigent cataract patients have been operated upon at no cost in Enugu. The initiative is a flagship corporate social responsibility of development partners to help Nigerians to be more productive. Blessing Anyanwu is our guide.
Dedicated to fighting preventable blindness, restore sight and transform lives in areas where access to quality eye care is limited, the development partners has given thousands of people the gift of clear vision, empowering them to live more independently and contribute meaningfully to their family and nation at large.
Our third pillar of sustainability, which is fostering prosperity in the communities that we operate in. And what would be the better way to show evidence than this? This is one way that we are assisting people to see again so they can go back to their productive lives, so that they become productive contributors to the economy.
Because cataracts is the first cause of blindness in the world that is avoidable. And with the surgery, that it can be as quick as 12-15 minutes, it can be eradicated.
It's one of the most interesting parts of healthcare, because you bring people from darkness to light, and the expression from the people is actually very fulfilling.
Some of the beneficiaries who expressed gratitude for the gesture shared their experiences.
It's unbelievable. The people worked so hard with sincerity. You see them working fast like soldiers, sticking to the job.
This operation was carried out without my knowing any pains or stress.
The operation was very successful. We didn't collect any dime from us. Yes, we are happy,
The week-long exercise attracted beneficiaries from across the state and beyond. In Enugu, Blessing Anyanwu, NTA News.
An overwhelming joy from the beneficiaries, and it is on this note we want to hand over to Abuja, where Nolin is standing by.
Very well, Chika Okoria, thank you so much for your contribution from Enugu Network Center. The national grid is set to be relatively stable, and the Nigerian Independent System Operator, NISO, says it is strengthening its operation to sustain the gain. At a stakeholders engagement convened by NISO with industry players on the future of the grid and its stability, stakeholders are optimistic that with the ongoing reforms and investments in the power sector by the federal government, Nigeria will achieve 8,000 megawatts of electricity generation and distribution in the next 1 year. The Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission and other industry players stress the need for compliance to market rules by the participants, while urging NISO to sanction defaulting players in the sector.
Grid operations, long-term system planning, and the coordination and development of the electricity market.
Government has awarded new contract for the SCADA system, covering the entire nation. Work is in progress all over across the nodal points in the system.
Federal government of Nigeria has taken about $500 million from the World Bank in loan to finance upgrade of distribution infrastructure network. Within that scope, we're going to provide 3.2 million meters for Nigeria, and of course with the presidential metering initiative as well, which provides another 2 to 3 million meters. That's about 7 million meters in total. So we expect to see significant improvement in terms of electricity access for all Nigerians.
Now, in response to the prediction by the Nigerian Meteorological Agency, NIMET, and the Nigerian Hydrological Services Agency, NISA, on imminent flood alert in 24 states, including the FCT, between July and November 2025, the National Orientation Agency, NOA, has commenced a sensitization campaign in the FCT. Kenneth Nanim reports that Paikonkore in Gwagwalada Council area of the FCT is the first port of call.
Paikonkore is one of the flood-prone areas amongst the communities in the Gwagwalada Council area of the FCT. The settlement pattern alone is enough to predict the impact flooding could have on the area, as there are no drainage systems nor hydro sources outlet facilities in their building plan. To enlighten the residents on the necessary steps to take in order to mitigate flood impact is the reason for this program at the instance of the National Orientation Agency, NTA.
There should be gutters, and where gutters are created, they should make sure that nothing blocks the waterways. It's important. They should be able to get necessary items of food source and so on. When there's flood, definitely it will block everywhere. They may not be going out and coming in.
It was an interactive section, and the message is also being delivered using indigenous language for easy communication.
Whenever there's flooding, you stay put. Don't cross. Then in the houses, you lift things up. And when you get alerts, please move to a higher ground.
This is done to promote early action by various governments, stakeholders, and citizens, and all users.
NISA is eager to work closely with the NOAA and other stakeholders to enhance flood awareness at all levels.
We're having serious gully erosion. If not that, there's no serious rain this year, I think that area is in danger.
Meanwhile, the SU Dugoro of the area and some other district heads acknowledge the messages with the assurance that their subjects will adhere. Kenneth Nanan, NTA News.
Elsewhere, in line with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's renewed hope agenda, the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Humanitarian and Poverty Reduction, Delu Bulus Yakubu, presented relief materials to the recent victims of insurgent attack in some communities of Hong local government area, central zone of Adamawa State. Medical outreach in Jada local government area, southern zone also took place.
First time we're experiencing this thing, and we thank her. The Lord will bless her.
Honestly, we are very much appreciative of the gesture.
These were the reactions of some of the beneficiaries. Delu Bulus Yakubu, while interacting with the women during their antenatal routine days, told them how the First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, is much concerned about their plight and advised them to maintain good hygienic environment during pregnancy and after delivery. This prompted our office as the Senior Special Assistant to the President to collaborate with the Office of the First Lady to provide the most essential kits to this set of vulnerable women in the locality. The visit of the Senior Special Assistant and her team to FMC Mubi no doubt brought smiles on the faces of these expectant mothers.
I am here on the instinct of the First Lady, Senator Remi Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to deliver the free delivery kit to the pregnant women in Mubi. It's all Nigerian women.
Professor Yauba Mohammed Saad, head of clinical FMC Mubi, who received the team, lauded the initiative on the importance attached to the delivery kits to the center and most women in the area. In Yola, Mary Adamu George, NTA News.
From Yola, we take you to Birnin Kebbi, where in recent times, measles has become a significant health concern in Kebbi State, particularly among children. Recent reports indicate that the state recorded an unprecedented surge in measles cases in 2024, prompting the government to take proactive measures to address the outbreak in 2025. Usman Abdullahi Shehu has more.
Measles is an acute viral infectious disease and a significant cause of childhood morbidity and mortality. Children under 5 years old and adults over 20 years old are more likely to experience complications. In Kebbi State, this highly infectious viral disease that's endemic has since last year become a plague affecting children more.
Because it's an airborne disease and it's easily transferred from one person to another, it's highly communicable.
Last year, approximately 200 cases was recorded, raising a cause for concern among mothers and caregivers. From their experiences, the disease is contagious and deadly.
I don't joke with any vaccination because my children's health is my peace of mind.
This year, the state government is taking a bull by the horn to protect children's health and prevent further spread of the disease. The first line of action is that the state government has launched a sensitization campaign on measles and rubella vaccination.
We invited leaders of different community, different settings, including people living with special needs.
Those that are given this vaccination, that are going to be given the vaccination now, will grow up with that immunity, will grow up with that protection. And even if they become of reproductive age, they will not be affected by that disease.
Free vaccination and intensive monitoring is also being adopted to curb the disease. In Burning Kebbi, Usman Abdullahi Shehu, NTA News.
And still talking health, in Nigeria, life expectancy is set to be put at 45 years for men and 55 for women. This has become even more worrisome recently with the occurrence of death of younger people who are still in their productive years, resulting from preventable diseases which are becoming increasingly widespread. To change this narrative, medical experts are highlighting the importance of regular checkups as a critical step in early detection and disease prevention. Khadijat Aliu completes the report.
Health, they say, is wealth. In a bid to achieve a stable health, routine medical checkups are essential for preserving good health and general well-being, as they enable the early detection of potential health problems.
Medical checkup gives us an insight into our kidney health, into our heart health, into our brain health. Now, how do we get an insight into these vital organs? Through our blood pressure, our body mass index test, our kidney function test, our liver function test, oral health for adults.
A typical medical checkup usually involves checking of the blood pressure, testing cholesterol and blood sugar levels, examining the eyes, and conducting various cancer screenings, among other assessments.
General checkup, 3 months or 6 months. But if I see any symptom in my body or I feel something, I quickly go and see my doctor.
Going for a medical checkup is very important. It makes you to understand the status of your health, both internal organ and external organ, how they function well.
Some people, they just get headache from time to time. So it is important for you to do checkup because you should just know what is wrong. It might not be ordinary headache. Some headaches are migraine.
Experts say regular medical checkups may not stop all illnesses, but they provide a head start in managing them. Staying informed and proactive remains the key to a healthier life. Kehinde Omolosho, NTA News.
Still staying with Kehinde Omolosho, he joins us at the Primary Health Care Center in Ibadan to tell us more on prevention of incommunicable diseases. As they say, prevention is better than cure. Over to you, Kehinde.
All right, thank you very much, Lolin. Medical checkups allow doctors to access individual risk factors, including family history, lifestyle, and existing conditions. This information helps create personalized healthcare plans tailored to the individual's specific needs. These needs include life changes such as diets, exercise, and medication to manage risk factors. With me is Dr. John Oladapo, a medical expert. Doctor.
A very good evening.
Good evening. How often should one go for medical checkups?
Routinely, one should do medical checkups at least twice a year. And in one of those visits, one should carry out the routine investigations.
All right. Doing medical checkups, can I do one on my own, like do a medical checkup for myself?
You can do some of them on yourself, but the investigations, which includes checking your heart, your kidneys, your liver, and how it functions, that you need medical experts to do for you. And they will check your vital signs, your pulse rate, your heart rate, your respiratory rate, and then look at your heart in terms of the electrocardiography and then echocardiography. They also do kidney function tests, liver function tests, amongst a host of other things. But the things you can do on your own includes self-breast examination examination. You can also check your stool to be sure of the nature of the stool. If there's blood in your stool, it means that there's a cause for concern, and then you need to see your doctor. And then, very importantly, you also need to screen for cancers, and then look at your teeth and look at the health of your teeth.
What about dieting?
Lifestyle changes are very important because as part of routine care, we need to know that lifestyle contributes significantly to the way that our health outcomes turns out. And that means you need to look at your diet, you need to look at the kind of foods that you're eating, you need to look at your exercise pattern. You need to exercise for at least 20 to 30 minutes, 3 to 4 times a week, moderate intensity, and just brisk walking around your garden. And that helps improve your health outcome. Beyond exercise, we also look at the way you sleep. Your sleep pattern also helps improve the kind of health outcomes that you have. And this is very important in routine medical checks. These are the things that we as medical experts re-emphasize to our clients.
All right, thank you very much, doctor.
It's a pleasure speaking.
Now, Lorlin, the doctor said you should do medical checkups twice a year. I hope you've done that of the first quarter of the year.
Kende, I've been doing mine every quarter. In fact, I just did one last week. Thank you very much for your contribution from Ibadan.
Good.
All right, from there we shall take you to Kaduna, where Muhammad Umar Ajingi is waiting to give us more on Nationwide. Hello, Muhammad.
Here in Kaduna, the residents of rural farming communities here in Kaduna State have expressed satisfaction as the state governor, Basani, breaks a century-old jinx with the construction of a 35-kilometer road linking their long-neglected areas. During an inspection tour led by the managing director of the Kaduna State Roads Agency, KADRA, the communities held the state government for constructing the long-awaited lifeline project after decades of abandonment. The report. This 35-kilometer road stretching from Gadangain to Goraji Maraban Kujama, Chukun local government area is more than just an achievement. It is a bold step toward bridging the divide between rural and urban communities in Kaduna State. At the helm of affairs of monitoring these projects is the Kaduna Roads Agency, KADRA. The team traverses multiple locations, ensuring quality and timely delivery of each project.
In line with His Excellency Senator Basani's vision for its rural transformation, you can see this road had never existed before. It was a new road. You can see the bridge here have been 100% completed. So, and if you see this, the importance of this road is it connects about 70 farming communities.
Then, before you transport the grains from Kauru to Pembegwa, it takes you a lot of time. In fact, there was even a time that before I reached to Kaduna, I go to Kaduna. In fact, I will spend more than 1 to 2 hours before I reach because of during the rainy season. So we thank God for now. The work is going on.
The inspection didn't stop there. The next day, the team continued their assessment, moving from Millennium City to the heart of Kaduna Metropolis. For the residents, this project represents hope, inclusion, and a better tomorrow.
We are so impressed by this road. Other years, when we come here, we have to park at the market site and enter the hospital to work.
With a promise to deliver all projects within the shortest possible time, the stakeholders say the goal is clear: to make life easier for the people of Kaduna State. And from road infrastructure to security matters now. The Defense Industries Corporation of Nigeria, DICON, has concluded plans to begin production of arms, ammunition, fast attack aircraft, and security vehicles in line with the national security imperatives. The Director General DICON, Major General Babatunde Alaya, made the declaration during the signing of a Memorandum of Understanding with FC Offshore Nigeria Limited in Kaduna. Haruna Muhammad reports.
That seals the partnership between the Defense Industry Corporations of Nigeria, DICON, and SP Offshore Nigeria Limited, providing expertise in the production of ammunition, weapons, fast attack craft, and security vehicles, among others. The initiative is to provide expertise for the military-industrial complex in uniting and leveraging cutting-edge technology. For the Director General, DICON, and the group's Chief Executive Officer, the partnership is more than just a commitment, but an ability to stand, adopt, and strive together in achieving the objective that strengthens the defense need of Nigeria towards self-sufficiency.
In fact, within a year, we should be producing ammunition in joint partnership with the company, and then after that, we start producing weapons together. And we're also going to have a jetty in Lagos, where we're going to be producing security chip, fast assault boats, and so on, border security.
We are bringing in defense technology, and most importantly, self-sufficiency in terms of arms, weapons, drones, and technological warfare. If you look at it today, the next wars are not going to be fought with arms. It's going to be technological warfare, so we are prepared.
They, however, appreciated President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for signing the DICON Act in 2023, which has enabled partnership with international and national companies for national security efficiency. In Kaduna, Haruna Mohammed, NTA News.
And that's our contributions from this end nationwide.
Good afternoon and welcome to Port Harcourt. It was another remarkable time for management and staff of the NTA Port Harcourt Zonal Center as they rolled out the drums to celebrate the erstwhile Zonal Director, Dr. Evelyn Musu, who has just been redeployed to NTA Lagos Zonal Center. Joy Uzo recorded the events marking the Thanksgiving and sent forth of a woman described as a trailblazer. The reports.
Dr. Evelyn Nwosu attained the rank of Zonal Director NTA Port Harcourt Network Center on January 11, 2023, a position she successfully held for 2.5 years before a redeployment this July to NTA Lagos to function in the same capacity. This Thanksgiving service at NTA Port Harcourt Chapel is top among a lineup of activities to celebrate and send her off. Management and staff in their goodwill messages described the celebrant as a visionary leader and mobilizer.
She's a go-getter, she's disciplined, which many people will not like because the human nature likes freedom.
The system has greatly improved under the administration of the erstwhile Zonal Director.
You are leaving a mark, not just on paper, but on hearts, on systems, and on society. NTA Port Harcourt under her leadership is very, very outstanding and fantastic.
To show appreciation for opportunities God has brought her way and equipped her with to succeed in, Dr. Evelyn Nwosu presented a new power generating set to NTA Chapel of Glory.
Grace brought me this far, Grace announced me, Grace has led me. I think I also have a vision of what I wanted to do. My desire is to ensure that I don't leave the same place the way I met it. And so that gives me a drive to ensure that I just don't leave legacies that will fade away. I want lasting legacy. So I guess that's really what helped me thus far.
The farewell event climaxed with a reception where more tributes poured in for the celebrant. Among infrastructural and operational milestones recorded during Dr. Evelyn Nwosu's tenure as Zonal Director NTA Port Harcourt Network Center are a state-of-the-art network studio, a chapel building, brand new security post, and a solar electrification stand, which she attracted from the River State government to sustain the station's 24 hours transmission, among others. In Port Harcourt, I'm Joy Uzo, NTA News.
Cut nationwide, we continue with Nolin in Abuja.
Thank you very much, Gabriel and Monique, and for your contribution from there. Media organizations play a pivotal role in shaping national consciousness, promoting unity, and upholding cultural values. This position was underscored during the official inauguration of the Planning Committee for the 2025 Joint Carol of 9 Lessons, hosted by the Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, FRCN, the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, and the Voice of Nigeria, VON. The Director General of FRCN, Dr. Mohammed Bulama, reaffirmed the corporation's commitment to supporting the committee, emphasizing the importance of collaboration in delivering a successful and impactful event. He stated that FRCN remains dedicated to using its platforms to foster peace and national cohesion through shared cultural and spiritual experiences.
Three organizations were people of faith. We showcase them in the best possible way we can, and 2025 will not be an exception.
We want Nigerians to be encouraged by this verse in the Bible that they can do all things through Christ. Is the one that will strengthen them.
The 2025 edition of the FRCN, NTA and Vaughan Carol of 9 Lessons is scheduled to hold on the 7th of December with the theme, Christ Our Strength. The event is expected to draw participants from across the country in a celebration of faith, unity and hope. The Court of Appeal, Abuja Division, says the National Human Rights Commission acted beyond its mandate when it constituted a special investigation panel to look into complaints on oil spillage in the Niger Delta region of the country. Olabode Arewa reports that the ruling is based on an appeal filed by the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL.
Arising from frequent cases of crude oil spills in regions of the Niger Delta, where oil flow stations and pipelines are located, farming communities in Akwa Ibom State filed a complaint in that regard, seeking monetary claims. The National Human Rights Commission, acting under its mandate, set up a special investigation panel to investigate complaints against the National Oil Company, the NNPC. NNPC had purchased the assets and liabilities of Adax Petroleum, the company initially accused of being owner of the busted pipelines. The trial court, having given its nod to the Human Rights Commission's findings, the NNPC approached the Court of Appeal for redress. Looking into the National Human Rights Commission Amendment Act and the 1999 Constitution, the three-man panel, led by Justice Okonabang, agreed that the National Human Rights Commission has jurisdiction to look into human rights violations, only that the Federal High Court is the one with the requisite powers to entertain cases concerning oil spills. Using the principle of stare decisis, the three-man panel, led by Justice Okonabang, decided that the National Human Rights Commission acted beyond its powers, thereby upholding NNPC's appeal. In Abuja, Olabode Arewa, NTA News.
And that concludes Nationwide today. Thank you so much for watching. I am Norlene Ebel Ame.